was just saying, so many people look at the stairs and they say, oh my gosh, what a project. It can be such a big deal. But as you mentioned, there are so many options. And we had a viewer come down to the show today.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, she's a question about her staircase. So Kelly, I know you wanted to ask Karen something, and we were so prepared for you today. What would you like to ask her?
Well, this is the last renovation in our home, and we'd like to update this oak staircase, and I'm looking for some ideas.
Well, I think your staircase is something we see a lot of. It has the solid oak treads, risers, stringers, and pickets and handrails. So everything is monochromatic, and everything's in that sort of rusty, orangey color wood. Yeah. So I know that you want to update that. There's so many different options that we can do. We can paint out all of so if you look here, all of your stringer here, which is this point here, if you paint that out white, it'll make the staircase float. And I know that you've already done your flooring here, and it's in a tile, a slate tile. So you want to pay homage to that. You don't want to do something that's going to contrast it. You want your floor to come right up and into the staircase. Mm-hmm. So maybe paint out your treads in a deep charcoal gray or a black, or you can stain them in an ebony color. But you want to make sure that you don't go too green with the color, because you've got red oak risers. So be careful of that. Do a sample first. Then what you want to do is paint out all of your pickets and in the white, and leave your handrail the same color as the treads. So for instance, if you wanted to make a change to, the iron, you can take the pickets off, you can take the railing off, and you can do something like this, which is much more contemporary.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Really beautiful.
Love that runner.
So that's certainly a lot more expensive option, but it gives you a completely different look.
Right.
And then what you want to do is choose a fantastic runner. So runners right now are huge. There's so many different options. You can go into some nice bold colors that you see on this picture, for instance. The stripe has to run down the stairs. That's very important. So you've got different options that you can choose there. You can do a loop pile, you can do a cut pile, something that's very, this is sort of cottagey. It's very thin, very easy to install.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing that runner, you can also, say for instance you're doing something like this, and you want to create a traditional look, you can add in the hardware that goes along with it. So that was used way back when you actually bought a runner, like a rug, and they attached the runner to the stairs with this hardware. Now it's strictly decorative.
Okay.
But it's a nice way to give a contemporary look with the brushed nickel, very traditional with the brass and the acorn finial.
Yeah.
It's like jewelry for your staircase.
That is very nice. Okay, so Kelly, you've got a lot of options there. Now, I'm just wondering, if you are going to go with a runner, you still have to spend the time preparing the stair. You're going to see the edges of the staircase.
So there's different options again. So in Kelly's case, you can paint out the treads.
Yeah. And
then you're going to run your runner. And in her case, I wanted to do something that's more transitional.
Okay.
So these patterns here that you're seeing, for instance, this a little bit of a diamond pattern here. I love this one for you, Kelly. This is beautiful. It's transitional.
Oh, I love that one too. Gorgeous
detailing in it. And then, of course, you can do a custom influence on the rug. So if you really wanted something special, LT will actually design a pattern in the rug and have it made for you. Ooh. And you can change the colors. So if you're looking at this one here, let me just pull this aside. You can take a pattern like this, which is almost like a honeycomb pattern. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like this particular color, you can change it to hundreds of different options for the color. So whatever is going to work with your palette. So you want that impact, you want it to be bold, but you definitely want it to be with your palette. So easy to do. Then
completely custom. Now, what are the sorts of materials that all these rugs are coming in? And thanks so much to LT for providing us with all of this. Because this, a runner, it's in a highly used area. It's got to be certain materials, right?
So you want to make sure you're doing a wool base or jute base rug, because wool has a natural fiber, and the fiber itself is naturally spun, so it'll come back up with a lot of traffic.
Got it.
And you want to be careful also not to clean it too often. So steam cleaning a runner is actually a no-no. Just vacuum it.
Really?
And then steam clean it once every 3 to 5 years. That's it.
What does the steam cleaning do to it?
It packs it, and it'll actually make it wear faster and hold the dirt.
Okay. Ooh. All right. Good to know.
Now, your last option, again, getting back to that staircase, if you wanted to If you have a staircase that has wall-to-wall carpeting on it,
Yes.
a lot of them do, which is what I showed you in my clip in my home.
Yeah.
So we retread the stairs. So the Home Depot
Yeah.
has a kit that you can buy,
Okay.
and it has everything. So here, let me just sneak
You
one
want
out.
these?
Yeah. So that's super heavy. Sorry. So
That's
this is
okay.
your
It's
riser.
a little workout.
Pardon me, this is your tread. So
Yeah.
it's got the nosing detail on it, and then you add that onto the plywood staircase.
Right.
And then this is your riser. It goes in behind, like so.
Yeah.
And you can paint it or stain it, whatever you want. And then you're adding your picket.
So these.
Yeah, so this is your picket, and they have various different options. This one's very traditional. It's a turned picket. You might want to do something that's just square, simple, if you're going with a more contemporary look.
Okay.
And then you have your handrail already, and again, this can be stained and or painted.
Yeah.
And then lastly, your post at the bottom of the stair. And it's nice you have to think about where you're going to place it, whether it's going to go on the floor or on the stair, depending on how the traffic flows around it.
Okay.
So there's tons of options.
Are we talking about a lot of money if you want to redo your entire staircase?
Well, I think it's an investment for sure,
Yeah.
but the staircase is a focal point in your home. It takes a
is.
lot of traffic, of course,
Yeah.
and it can either be wow or it can be, okay. So
Right.
it's somewhere where I would spend some money.
I love how we spontaneously put together that whole demo for Kelly.
I know.
Isn't that great? We were so prepared for you today. Let's go to break. More coming up on Home Day. Stay with us.